Hello, good morning. Welcome into another episode of Good Morning Nasdaq right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. It is, as you know, Thursday, the 7th day of August, year of our Lord 2025. You got Kyle joining us this morning. My name's Dom. Welcome to another episode. Getting started a little late this morning. We were kind of chatting about some swing stuff. You can't have two traders talk and then you join a Zoom before we talk, and then we always start talking about something. But yeah, we're here. We're live. We're ready to go. It's Thursday. I feel like we haven't gotten to Monday yet because I've taken 3 trades. It has been like a in and out for a loss, and a whole lot of sitting on my hands. And for some reason, I myself, we try to preach, stay in your lane, be patient for your setups. When the market shifts and slides to a bad phase, you don't need to take trades, you don't need to force. I am like weirdly kind of like, I'm like down like 3R on the month this week to start the month because I don't have any winners yet, and all I have is losers. But like I'm just like a little bit proud of myself because I'm like, I feel like there have been times where I could have made this worse, where I could have tried a couple things an extra time or two, and like I don't really care to be down 3R because I know I can make that in a trade. But I can just imagine there's people out there getting a little too aggressive in small cap land when there's nothing there, and it's so easy to do. Like, yesterday I was in and out of something so stupid, and it was like such a quick loss, and I caught slippage and lost more than 1R, and I was like, yeah, okay, like there's nothing out there worth it. Like you kind of like get to the point where like you're trying to like finagle your P&L, and it's just like, I'm happy with this loss today. Like there's nothing out there for me to go dumpster diving for, and it's like, do I really want to lose another 400, another 1,000, another? And right now, I feel like you just got to kind of finagle your P&L. You take the trades on your watch list, and then it's all about like capital preservation and like, is any risk worth it at this point for whatever reward? Right. And so I think it's great practice for all markets, because if you can treat every market like it's a dead slow market, you're going to make a lot of money when the market picks up, because you're going to just have a much higher win rate. You're going to start nabbing some big winners, and you're going to avoid losers still. And I think you've been saying it for a week or so. It's like, if this is the best I got, but on a day where there was 3 or 4 opportunities, this would be like 3rd or 4th. Would I trade it on that day? And the answer is like, so should I trade it today? That's up to you to decide. But I see a lot of people doing that, where it's like, it used to be something where it's such low priority, but now that's your best option. What do you do with it that day? Do you leave it alone, or do you trade it because it's all you got?
Yeah, it takes a long time to like come around to that realization. Like many summers of me just pushing and going nowhere until I realized, hey, maybe you just like don't have to do what you think you should do. To where now, right? This is one of the first times where I can see that chart and be like, yeah, no, I don't need it. Like if there were 4 other charts in a busy market, this one I would avoid. So why not avoid it now? Like, why would I? Just because it's the only one here, doesn't mean I have to take it. So
it's tough out there on the streets. I think I was gonna go through my data over the past like year and try to figure out how long most negative stretches are. Like, I think I'm a good indicator of my market for me, like, because when there's nothing for me, there's like 5, 6, 7 red days in a row, and like trying to figure out how many times that happens and how often like we get plays during those times, or like how long I can expect it to last. And I remember feeling this way last August, because it's like I always do this little golf, like little mini family vacation thing at this time of year, and I remember that always being terribly slow, and I never want it to be real. I feel like I'm always the guy that's like, any market could be hot. But that is August. I feel like you guys are dead on with that so far. But we're on like day 8 where I have like nothing. And there was one day where like V-Wave and LiDAR worked as reversals, which would have bailed you out of all the losses I've taken. But we're starting to get deeper into it. Almost 2 full market weeks of real slow. The market is at all-time highs, basically. It's but coming right back to it. Just held that dip like a champ. So we'll see. Did. There is you just got to take it one day at a time. I think that's the hardest thing about this job is you could show up at 9:30 and have a realistic possibility your day is done by 9:40, and that probably sounds great to the regular 9-to-5er, but the regular trader's like, well, I'm not getting paid, and sometimes I'm just donating for a week, and that doesn't sound fun. It's tough. It is tough, but that's why you see Huddie traveling. That's why you see us try to do other things, get out of here. But all right, you got a webinar today?
Yeah. 8 or no, I was going to say 8 o'clock. No, 11.
11 Eastern.
11 Eastern, yes.
All right. J-Bone says he's coming to fish. There's nothing to trade. It can't be good out there if J-Bones can't find something to trade. Jabril says nobody is amazed at how this market is always green. I'm amazed because I was always told that if the market was good, then it would bleed down into small caps, and small caps are on their deathbeds right now. Nobody says, do you think holding and hoping is a good strategy? I'm going to assume that that is a troll, and I'll answer it with very simple no. A simple no. Kyle, did you short SGBX?
Yeah, I actually got filled on our way out of the stream yesterday. We were just too busy answering questions, but when we got off the stream, I did have a position, but obviously that led to a loss. So did take a loser on that one yesterday.
All right. Got a couple gappers for you today. We don't normally these last couple days been able to get to some gappers, so we'll go through the biggest gappers of the day. I see at least two over 70%, one's over 140%. We'll talk about those, and then we'll answer some more questions. So if you have any questions, throw them in the live chat there. Right after you hit that thumbs up button, get that like count, into the 40s, into the 50s, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. A lot of new content coming out on our YouTube, and you don't want to miss it. So make sure you're subscribed. Easy peasy. Click the button, and there you are. It's done. And like the video, because we're live every day. The market is open. And if you want to spend some more time with us, you can over at clovertrain.io and see which package works for you. Biggest gapper I see is IMG. Which is SIMG.
Yeah, it just CIMG is the ticker name, or as the company name.
Out of Hong Kong, 11 million float. Looks like a cheapie stock. Let's see. Was there news? Do you see any special news that I'm not seeing?
Why are we not scrolling here? I don't see any. Maybe a filing. IMG.
I seen 8K yesterday, but do you know what it's at?
It could be the 8K. China, Beijing. Coffee, emerging business, broader consumer product. Announced a subsidiary has officially launched a premium style liquor from China featuring a complex fermented soybean aroma.
Wow.
So they've launched a liquor.
Soybean aroma. I feel like that's just not something people are like dying to smell.
Yeah. So they're selling a product. They list there's some Chinese commerce websites like JD.com, which is popular. JD's the ticker of that. And yeah, so they're just launching a new product. They're getting excited for it.
Okay. 3.5 months of cash left. Any dilution that I see? I got some old ATMs from 2020 that are terminated. 2021, they got a smallish equity line and kind of small shelves. I don't see anything there. What does it say? Offering ability is medium. Everything else is pretty much high. They need cash. They're risky. They're a lot of overhead supply. Let's take a look at the daily chart. So that news must have came out yesterday in the after hours, because it popped up from the 20 cent area to as high as 32, closed kind of mid-range, gapped up this morning, and is higher into the 50 cent area, 150% up on the day right now. Let's go back a bit, see if there's any recent spikages, gappages on this one. So it's top left to bottom right. You got some one-day runs that
a lot of
at the end of last year, beginning of this year, that keep just making lower high, lower high, lower high. But they all kind of close like nearish their highs. They're big green candles. None of these are on big gap ups. They're all just kind of open and spikes. But would that concern you as a gap and crap shorter that every time the stock has ran, that it's not really a big bloody red candle?
Yeah, it's kind of 50-50, right? We had like those three candles where two of the three are closing relatively well. And then we have one gap and crap from July 2024 that actually crapped. So it's like we're a bit, I don't want to say 50-50, but we're a bit up in the air with what this has or can do in the past. Um, so we'll see. I'm not really, I mean, launching a product is cool, but I don't know if it justifies 150% gap up. So yeah, I mean, and actually, yeah, there's that big spike back in 2022 that also looks like the ones that were in early 2025. So, I mean, we'll have to find out. My crystal ball doesn't tell me anything that what everyone else's crystal ball tells us, but yeah, it's going to be one or two scenarios. It's going to be a cap and crap, or it's going to be something that actually holds relatively well. We're gonna find out one of the two.
Yeah, and I feel like also sometimes when you look at the behavioral history, it's not as easy as like, okay, it does this, this, and this, so it's going to do this. Obviously, it shifts around, and if it were too easy, everyone would just profit on every single move on every stock. And, that's why like MLGO or HOLO goes randomly, because it fails a lot, and then when it goes, even though it's a Chinese liquidation play, it runs. In this case, I think you might also be able to say that like it's making lower highs in the process. It's getting weaker and weaker. It's down at 20 cents. It's, those spikes were all from around $1, and we're just getting beaten to the ground more and more. So if there is bag holders, if there's people stuck, more likely that as time goes on, the weaker and weaker these bounces get, that more weakness should ensue. But you're also talking about a 50-cent stock up 150% with just kind of okay news. And do the odds just kind of favor failure? Like Huddie always says with the data, the odds are they'll close below their open price. So we'll see. We still got 18 minutes left in the pre-market. Maybe it's up near 80 cents. Maybe it's up near $1. But we'll see. Decent volume already today, 240 million. But that is your biggest gapper of the day. IMG out of Hong Kong.
And that's our only gapper because the second one just dropped.
What is this a liquidation?
It was YHC, but it was up 80% or something, or like 70 something, and now it's down only 50. But this was a former liquidation play, so a bunch of sketchiness nonetheless. It would be something not everyone, but most people at Clover would avoid.
You can see it back, a couple drops from 80 down to 8. Got a gap and crap day. Then the most recent little run, let me zoom in a little more. That was the one, yeah. So we talked about this one recently, kind of like that little 3-day breakout. Really nice breakout day on decent volume, even though I remember you mentioned like it was an X liquidation play. Good volume today, but has since then really dropped right back to where it came from, which is what most of these do. And maybe trying to bounce, we'll see. It's like the intraday is like not dead. It's just that at the heights, it was kind of at our limit to talk about, and now it's not. So one that could just repump, as we were just talking about, ML, like it could die. It could come back and go 3, 4, 5. A lot of built-in resistance overhead here, so not one that I would ever be really long biased on. With everything we kind of talked about, it makes me just lean. I don't want to buy it. But yeah, for a lot of the reasons, you have this big gap down. Yeah, just one that it's not really up enough, I think, for Kyle to be interested in shorting, and
No.
there's just a ton of bag holders and horrible history here for a potential long. So that's YHC, which was one of the biggest gappers. And then boom, everything's 30% or lower. And that is just where we are. Everyone's just trading the SPY.
Watch the bull market continue.
Watching it continue. We'll answer a few questions. Get on out of here. Kyle's making moves in the pre-market. If you want to see those trade alerts live in action over in the room, you can join over at clovertrading.io. Get yourself signed up for at least 3 Leaf, and you will have access to that to see when he's buying and selling these swangs that he's swanging and doing a lot of pre-market swanging and banging. Wing says, what's the risk of holding overnight trades? If you're long and you open up to a gap down, how would you recommend managing risk? Well, I would stick to my risk, and I would probably manage that before that happens. You sounded like you were going to say something. I don't know if you had it. I don't want to take it off your tongue.
Yeah. No. This is a question we get a lot, and whether it's swinging overnight, shorting overnight, longing overnight, and they talk about the risks. And I'm here to tell you, like, yes, there are things you can slightly do to mitigate, right? But like that's trading, right? Like there's going to be risks, right? And it's almost like I don't know. It's not a false illusion because yes, there is more risk overnight for sure. I'm not arguing that, but it is a little bit of illusion as if like you're not taking that same level of risk at some level when you trade during the day. Like people take something overnight. They're like, oh, but what if news comes out or what? I have no thing over control of it. It's like you could go to the bathroom for 5 minutes during the day, and news comes out, and you're like that's trading, right? Like the best thing you could do is follow what you should probably always be doing, which is like proper risk management, having risk levels, and proper position sizing, and like that's really all you can do for any time of the day, and so if that risk overnight for some reason scares you more than during the day, then just don't take things overnight. But
you're gonna get stuck in it. You're gonna catch an offering. You're gonna have news come out at 8:20 a.m. 8:20 p.m. and there's nothing you can do about it till 4 a.m. My biggest loss ever is I had a stop loss and went hunting at 4:01. They dropped news. My stop got deleted and it dropped 80%. And even if I was sitting there, like I wasn't feeling much better, there's risks. You are a trader. The whole game is risk and risk management. But in your specific question, what would I do if I was long and it gapped down? Like if my risk was broken and it was just way below my risk, I would take the L. Always better to just get rid of it than bag hold it and hope. And learn if that's something you want to be. If you can't sleep at night because you're in positions, I wouldn't recommend swinging. I tend to only swing stuff when I have a cushion. That's why I kind of struggle with like buying an after hours, because I don't like the idea of going to bed and then sizing into an area so close to where we closed, and then it opens so much lower, and it's like all of a sudden it's like 3, 4, 5 hour loss. I don't like that. So I usually try to only swing when I have cushions, or if I'm in a quote unquote safer stock.
There you go.
BZ says, Kyle, what's the name and spelling of the person you follow for swing trading? You will find it even if you misspell it.
Yeah, Throne responded to him. It's Kuomagi, but yeah, he spelled it correctly. So someone answered him.
Oh, someone did. All right. BTAI says multi-day runner. Check it. Yeah, I know of its existence. Opening red today.
Oh, no. This is I can't remember. We had to have talked about this at live at some point, right? Because I don't remember talking about it. Maybe I mentioned in chat, but in the very beginning of this stream, I said there are tickers, if they were out there, if there were multiple of them, we would be ignoring the lower tier ones. This is one of them, right? If there was any slightly better first red day out there, I would be taking that one over BTI. There's plenty of indicators to show that BTI is not a good multi-day runner. And again, so if I had any halfway decent first red day set up in front of me, I would be focusing on that over BTAI, but we don't. So naturally, years ago, old Kyle would be like, well, this is all I have, so we're going to trade it. But not today. Not today. I am completely avoiding it. I don't even have a chart up of it. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but charts like that, that disguise themselves as a good multi-day runner are actually not. And sure, you can short it today and make money, but I promise you short charts like that 10 times out of 10, you will lose way more than you normally should. So I am just not, I don't even have a chart up of it. So it can do whatever it wants to do today, but it's got the indicators that make me allergic to charts like that. And so I will not be trading it at all.
Okay. Owned 247 says, would GV count as a potential breakout? I have it as such. So nice pattern awareness. 2 days without breaking the previous day's high. Nice little gap down today for my watch list, what I wanted. So we'll see what that one looks like out of the gate. But yep, that does count. It's hard to see what the where VWAP is, but this is a double top from 2 days ago and yesterday. It was so sad that yesterday, that's all I was watching was like, is this going to be my one play for Thursday? And I was like, Oh, that's so annoying. Like it can't, it double top, so it was about to like break it, and I was like, once it breaks it, it's no longer going to be a breakout. And I'm like, I have so little on watch that like usually every day by like 11, I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'll have this reversal and that reversal, and this one's running for a first red day. Right now, it's like everything just invalidates itself. It's like, oh, that's going to be a reversal, but nope, it's doing 4 shares today. It won't fit liquidity. um, okay.
Oh.
Do you pay attention to news when shorting? Which news would you avoid? I can answer this for Kyle. Crypto treasury plays, if there's certain theme is really hot, or earnings winners. Yeah, on like day one.
Or or a big investment or a billionaire investment. Like if another company comes out and says, yeah, Nvidia is invested in us, I'm like, no, thank you. If a billionaire comes out and says we've invested in this company, no, thank you. Those are some news I just don't care to step in front of, because yes, some may fail, but if they don't, my God, are they just absolute freight trains? And it just doesn't make sense to step in front of that. So
make sure you hit that thumbs up button, please. We're only at 33. We like to get the number at least into the 40s. All right, rapid fire, like 2 or 3 questions. No more. Someone asked about liquidation play. Short answer, please. Kyle, short answer, liquidation.
avoid them like the plague unless you eventually want to blow up.
How do you know what they are, though? What is it?
Oh, you're going to see a very unnatural run up, very low volume, very controlled, in my opinion. And then one day out of nowhere, they're going to drop 90% plus, and you'll see it on the chart. Just look at, YHC in May, right? Just kind of, it liquidly walks itself up very quietly, and all of a sudden, it goes from $90 to $12. Like what? Yeah, that's what that is.
Okay. And for whatever reason it is, they can be sketchy. Wing says, was the YHC breakout good, though, previously? I would say so. Doesn't mean they can't work and run. I think a lot of people made a ton of money on MLGO. I think Laptop made 6 figures on it at our boot camp on the day it ran, day one. So there's definitely money to be made. You just got to be aware that one day it's probably going to be a bottom dweller, and it might happen quick. Dom and Kyle, when markets are like this, do you force yourself to walk away and have a hobby to keep your mind off the market? Yes. Yeah. Jenica, I miss Wine Wednesday. Can I see that live at your website? You can see it on YouTube if you just go to playlists and then select Wine Wednesday, and it's kind of hidden, but it is there, and you can watch all the old Good Morning Nasdaqs or Wine Wednesday. Cheem says, IMAB. Do you have it on watch? Dominic, multi-day breakout. No, I don't. I haven't really heard of this one. What is the volume on this day? 44 mil. Not bad, but breakout was kind of on super light volume. Today's day 2 of the breakout there, so it's kind of come and gone for me. But no, I missed that one. Probably wouldn't have been too high on it, but missed it. Skater Hub. All right, last question. Why do you say if you play, then you'll eventually blow up? Short side or long side?
Wait, which one?
Why do you say if you play, then you'll eventually blow up? Short side or long side?
No, not, because if you want to hold them long, again, it's all with the context, right? So like, yes, you can be in long for an hour and probably make money. But if you want to hold them for 2 months, I promise you, you will just hold into one of those liquidation days where it goes on 90%. You will also lose 90% if you can hold. On the short side, yes, you'll make a lot of money on a lot of them. Like, believe me, I'm speaking from experience. But there's going to be one that absolutely sends you for a ride so big that you will never want to touch them again. I've been in multiple of those. So don't just look at like YHC and be like, oh, that's easy, just short, and then wait till they drop. Yeah, I did that. We'll look at ZJYL, where it gaps up from 25 to 500. Like that kind of thing. Go look at iLag, where it runs from 4 to 12 in like less than an hour, right? That kind of thing. That is the kind of thing you don't want to be a part of. And I promise you, those will come back.
Yeah, they're frustrating. There's so much of an edge to them that it's such as the downside of the edge is so destructive. Right. And they got us. They got us back then. You won't get me again, though. They won't get me again. All right, everybody. 5 minutes till the open. We got to head on over to Clover. If you want to join, check out Kyle's webinar today. You can over at clovertrade.io. If not, and you're just here to hang out with us on YouTube, perfectly fine. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 8:45 a.m. for another episode of Good Morning Nasdaq. Stay safe out there. Stick to your patterns. Stick to your edge. Be the best version of yourself you possibly can be. And we will see you first thing tomorrow morning.